Hello, everybody. Welcome back to PolyNerdic.com or the PolyNerdic YouTube channel, wherever it is you're watching this. Thank you for being here. As always, I am Shad, the face, voice, and brains of PolyNerdic.com. Unfortunately, for better or worse, I guess. Thank you for joining me for another PolyNerdic review. This time of the Netflix original film, Spenser Confidential. This is a movie I was very excited to see as being made. I am a huge fan of Robert Parker's Spenser franchise. I have read 25 some odd number of the 24 of the books. It's a very long running series. The first book was published in 1973, before my time. Not that old. Really loved the books though. It was the franchise that really gave me love for the private eye genre. Without Robert Parker and Spenser, I would have never read Raymond Chandler and his iconic character Philip Marlowe. I would have never seen the Maltese Falcon. I would have never experienced a lot of great noir stuff. And I learned to love that stuff through the Spenser character. I just loved the way Robert Parker wrote this guy. He was like a tough as nails, wise ass from Boston. A city I love and would not mind returning to someday. I visited it once in high school and have wanted to go back ever since. I love the city of Boston. That's neither here nor there. The Spenser franchise is a fantastic read. They're typically pretty thin books. They're like paperback. They're like about like that. The hardcover tend to be more like in this size range here. In fact, there are some right here. These are some Spenser novels here that I haven't read yet. Love, and I apologize for the creaky chair. Love the franchise as a story, as a character. I love all the spin-off stuff, the Jesse Stone stuff, the Sonny Randall stuff. Robert Parker was a fantastic author. Unfortunately, Robert Parker passed away, I want to say in 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. And since then, those franchises have been doled out to other writers. Ace Adkins, a guy who I've never read any of his stuff. I haven't got to that part of the Parker verse yet, the Spenser verse, if you will. I believe this is his second book, entitled Wonderland, that was adapted for this movie. This movie stars Mark Wahlberg. Nothing against Mark. I thought Mark had potential to be a pretty good Spenser, to be honest. But he doesn't drop the ball here as much as the writers of the movie did. I don't know the exact number. I think, like I said, I think this is Ace's second Spenser novel, but it's like the 30th or 40th book in the series. It's way deep into it. But they made this movie kind of an origin story. Spenser has, for a long time in the novels, had a buddy named Hawk, who's kind of like a street thug, street tough, but well-spoken, incredible dude. Like, just as tough as Spenser is, this guy's 10 times tougher. Just super cool dude. He's the kind of guy that you read about and you're like, man, that dude's a cool-ass dude. If he wasn't a violent criminal, I'd love to know him. That kind of thing. This movie shows Spenser and Hawk meeting for the first time. Alan Arkin kind of plays both their mentor. He's like a fight coach. Spenser in the novels was a former boxer. Pretty good at throwing some punches. Pretty tough guy. In this movie, that's kind of implied that he dabbled in a little bit, but he's a cop at the beginning of the movie, or a former cop who is released very early on from jail. He's now a felon. He went to jail for beating up a superior officer. Then there's a murder, and he's like a prime suspect kind of thing. And then there's police corruption and all this stuff. It's very classic noir storytelling. But making it an origin story was the wrong move, I think, at this point. Like, I can't quite explain. Like, I don't know if it would have, like, the Spenser franchise has been in movies before, both on made-for-cable stuff and like TV shows. There was a Spenser for Hire, I think it was called, TV show in the late '80s, early '90s. Joe Montana, if I mispronounced his name, I'm sorry. Had some A&E Spenser movies that were right along there with the Tom Selleck, Jesse Stone movies. So it's not a new property to be made into some sort of movie or TV show. I just really did not like the way they did this. A lot of the iconic characters that are part of the Spenser universe were not here. There's a comedian, last name Schlesinger. I'm probably butchering her name. I've seen her stand up a couple times. She's a funny woman. She plays Spenser's on again, off again love interest in this movie. She's fine in the role, but again, it's not my Spenser. Mark Wahlberg is fine in this movie, and I thought he had potential to play a good hard as nails private eye, but he's not even really a private eye because they established really early on in this movie that as a convict, he's not eligible to get a license to be a private eye, so he's just kind of doing this stuff of his own volition. Do the right thing for the sake of doing the right thing, but he's not really a private eye. The whole way that, at this point in the story, him and Hulk should be like best friends, know each other better than they know themselves kind of thing. But they're thrown together when Spenser comes home from prison and he's got a roommate living with him that he didn't know he was going to have. And, they bond over the course of the movie and become partners, but it's not what it needed to be. It's not what I wanted from it. It was a very disappointing movie overall. And I'm going to give it a 5. It's a 5 out of 10. It's a very average movie. You might enjoy it if you're not familiar with the story. It's a 5. It's if you got nothing else to watch, if you've seen everything else on Netflix, everything else on Hulu, everything else on Amazon Prime, everything else on Disney Plus, come back around to Spenser Confidential. You might enjoy it. 5 out of 10 from this man, a longtime fan of the Spenser book series. 5 out of 10. I'm going to say that one more time. 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe. PolyNerdic on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube. Obviously YouTube, you're watching this. And PolyNerdic.com, the website where I try to get up at least one piece of content every day, usually by 7 or 8 a.m. Get the first content drop or the content drop of the day. Sometimes 2 or 3 things pop up, but generally it's one thing a day for your enjoyment. Make sure you check that out, bookmark that as well, and I'll see you right here very soon with something else.